Hi, my name is Leighanne Jordan, and welcome to my show. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm really excited to introduce our first guest, one of my really close friends, Amber Hoffing-Jarumbo. Amber, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Amber. I'm a senior on the field hockey team. I'm secretary of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and I'm from the Netherlands.
Amber, what has your experience at Bellarmine been like, especially not being from the United States?
It's been interesting for sure. The academic side is very different from what I'm used to at home, but I've had a pretty good transition, I think. Already speaking the language and just kind of not having any expectations, letting it all kind of come over me. And there's been a really good support system, I think, from other international teammates, Theodore from the international office, so I think that's helped me a lot in transitioning from the Netherlands to here.
Absolutely. Now, I've heard that when you first came to Bellarmine in Kentucky, you had never had Chick-fil-A. Is that true?
That is true, yeah. We don't have most of the fast food restaurants that the U.S. has, so Chick-fil-A was like a big must, I think, that every teammate recommended to me. So I wouldn't say it was life-changing, but it was still very good, like the fries, the mac and cheese, the pickles on the sandwich. So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed that.
What's your favorite fast food here?
Ooh, I'd have to say Chipotle, if that counts. Like a big Chipotle burrito or a bowl, that is like my absolute favorite.
Now, you play field hockey here at Bellarmine.
I do.
And last year you were captain, and you start, and you've had a couple injuries. What's it like getting over adversity and just challenges, especially being so far away from home?
Yeah, that's definitely been a really hard thing to conquer for myself, mentally especially. It's just hard being so far away from your parents, having to go through surgery, recovery, another surgery, another recovery period. So it's definitely been hard going from like a starting position, playing a lot, to going to absolutely zero. But kind of that rebuild, the small progression you see, building muscle again, being able to run is very rewarding, but it's still a very long process. So that's definitely been my biggest kind of speed bump, but I'm glad that I'm able to be playing again and just be enjoying running and walking.
Awesome. That's awesome. Are you involved with anything else on campus?
Apart from SAC, not really. I try to be involved as much as possible. I haven't really joined any other clubs, but I like to go to every sporting event, the career fair. I'm just a very social person, so I like to make connections on campus, whether that's in the athletic community or in the academic community or even in our Office of Identity and Inclusion. So I've worked a little bit with SAC, coming out with campaigns for that and social media posts, so I enjoy doing that.
That's great. And going back to what you're saying about not being from here, especially, you know, it's so hard for students that, I'm from Ohio originally, which is Columbus, 3.5 hours, and I remember being a freshman, a first-year student, and how I was so homesick. How did you battle that? Were you ever homesick?
First semester at school, I think, was very easy for me in a sense that we had so much field hockey, so much new stuff, new classes. So I didn't really notice that I was missing home or missing my parents, my brother, my dog at home. But as the second semester came, obviously we had COVID, but you have a lot more free time, and that's when you really start to miss your family. So I think being able to FaceTime my parents, social media, keeping my parents up to date has really helped me. So technology has played a huge part in me being connected with not just my immediate family, but like my cousins and aunts and uncles and family friends. So that's been a huge like help for me. And having like a whole other international community here with we have 3 other Dutchies on the team. We used to have someone from Australia, Mexico. So just finding that small support system with other people who understand what you're going through and how being so far away from home affects you is just incredible to have.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now I want to ask and like go on a little bit about, because you are a senior and you've been in Louisville for 4 years now, so do you know what your post-grad plans are? Are you going to stay here, or? I know it's a big question.
Yeah, I do really enjoy Louisville. I might stay here. I've been working for Louisville City as a ticket office rep, so I would love to stay if they would be able to offer me a job, but I'm also kind of looking at grad school at home at the University of Amsterdam to study sports marketing, so hopefully if that all works out, I might be able to do that. So I've kind of had two paths of going home or staying here, so I'm not quite sure yet. That's awesome. Both really interest me, so wherever I end up, I'm sure I'll be happy with that.
That's awesome. Well, we're definitely glad you're here. You've definitely made an impact here at Bellarmine. So now let's do some fun questions. All right,
I'm ready.
If you could be friends or hang out with any professor, like they were your best friend at Bellarmine, who would it be?
A really good question. I think Mr. Clausen.
Okay.
I think he would be like an interesting person to talk to, or even Mr. Fogel, like how funny he is with sports, but how interested he is in sports broadcasting too, or even Professor Morris, sports econ. I think he's just like super smart, has like a really good understanding of like the numbers behind sports, which I'm still trying to learn about.
Absolutely.
So I think that would be like my top 3 right now.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So going off of sports, that's what you are involved with, and that's also what you want to do, right?
Yes.
So what was your career? What did you want to do when you were a little kid? Because I know everybody's is different.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I think my idea of like my career path started off as being a veterinarian, so I've definitely steered off of that. But I would love to be in sports marketing or a sports agent.
Okay.
So I still have a long way to go to reach that, but I do want to stay involved with sports. Definitely the marketing side I find really interesting, and how social media and social issues apply to that. So something along the lines of that I think would be very interesting to continue my studies in.
Cool. This is like a personal question. I was kind of wondering, like, what is your motivation? What gets you up every morning?
I mean, that's like the toughest question anyone has ever asked me. As corny and like as cheesy as it sounds, like literally like my family, like my parents, just seeing them grind every day and seeing them love what they do is something that I aspire to have in my professional career. So although it sometimes is hard to get out of bed, I do think about that. Like I'm working towards my dream career and having fun in what I do. So definitely seeing them in their professional career and having fun is something that inspires me and makes me want to get to that goal as soon as possible, hopefully. So yeah, that's definitely my parents.
That's awesome. I mean, you're so far away from home, but you've made it home here. So I think it's important to find things you're passionate about. And have you done that?
I think so, yeah. I definitely am passionate about sports, obviously field hockey. I do recognize that that is not my entire life.
Right.
But I've built so much around that, made so many connections through that. So I think that having sports or field hockey as the root of like, kind of like my passion and my drive for other things in life, whether that be eating, cooking, whatever, walking a dog, like, yeah, that is pretty interesting to see how that has turned out right now.
Great. Well, is there anything you'd like to tell Bellarmine or any advice for first-year students since we just started school?
Come to field hockey games. We'd love to have as many supporters as we can have. And for first-year students, whether that be an athlete or just a regular student, have fun. Don't have any expectations. Let anything come over you. And just remember that not to take everything too seriously.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much. You have been the perfect first guest.
Thank you for having me.
I would love to have you back. And do you have any questions for me?
Not at the moment, no. Thank you.
Well, this has been Leighanne Jordan with Knights Media Network.